Sagacity. 7 minutes of exercise for your mind.
Let's take it back all the way to episode 1, series 1. This is episode 7 of series 2. So this is the 14th podcast over the 2 series. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because that is some good going. Even though these are only 7-minute podcasts, I have also been doing the Behind the Curtain podcast, which is where I speak to inspirational, phenomenal people. Check that out. That's just going to keep going and going and going with even more amazing people. And they're always around 40 minutes to an hour. And then the TLDL podcast, which is aimed at those who really don't do podcasts but can suffer 2 minutes of me sharing some wisdom I've picked up from people like yourselves. That one's cool as well. But this one, Sagacity, was really precious to me because what I've noticed through my privileged life of getting to meet so many cool people who have been through so many uncool things and also cool things, and quite often the uncool things that they've been through has inspired them or driven them to go on and do the cool things. All that stuff gives me an opportunity and a responsibility in a way to share what I'm picking up when I'm out and about. And that's what Sagacity was about. That's where it came from. And it was based on the fact that for a lot of years, I've seen people put a lot of time and effort and money and resources and sacrifice into trying to understand something that is either going to help them professionally or help them personally. Whether it's professionally or personally, the sacrifices and effort and resources and finances and time and everything that's gone into it becomes a real disappointment to people when they don't see the outcomes that they want to see from the efforts that they've put in. And what I've learned over time is that they lack the sagacity, which is the understanding and the know-how of how to make good decisions with the knowledge and understanding and information they've acquired. Experience as well, I should add into that they've acquired. And therefore they're not being sagacious. Sagacious, I now know, only in recent times, I'm not overly literate. I'm not some sort of professor in English or anything like that, but I do like language and I like words, and I believe words are powerful and therefore should be respected and used in the best possible way. So I did a bit of research when I was deciding what to call this podcast series, and I decided, well, I found sagacity really. I was looking at wisdom. I was looking at how do we get people to apply the wisdom and knowledge and experiences that they pick up over time and apply it at the right times in the right places to get the right outcomes. And I just stumbled across the word sagacity. And then I found out that sagacity is the act of being sagacious. And sagacious is what we're going to talk about right now in this final episode of Series 2. Series 3 will be coming, and we're going to keep going until I just feel like I've run out of things to say, which those of you that know me will probably smile when I say that and think that's not likely to happen. But more importantly than me just talking, I want to make sure it's useful. Sagacious. Sagacious is being able to use information, knowledge, wisdom, all of that good stuff that we've all got on this call, thinking I'm on a Teams call, on this podcast. We've all got that in our own way. The more of us that connect and get comfortable sharing experiences and listening to other people's experiences, the more chance we've got of acquiring more and more knowledge and wisdom that we can then be sagacious with, which is the ability to use it in the right way and make the best decisions in situations to get the best outcomes for us and the people that we're serving or supporting or care about in that moment. But if we're just thinking about us, there will be times when you've acquired lots of information, knowledge, experience, skills. You've got it all there, but you're not really clued up on how to use it in real life. My background being health fitness, which has now moved more into mental fitness, but the physical side of health and fitness is where I spent a lot of time. There is a huge percentage of people out there to this day that will be very, very well versed on how to use fitness facilities, the equipment in them, the training methods that are communicated within these facilities. They've probably moved between multiple different training systems and methods over time. Some rightly so, some just because it's a trend or they're bored of another one, so they try something else. But one thing that is a constant at all levels, and I've had the privilege of working with people that are paid handsomely to compete in competitive sports and physical activities. And I've also worked with those that have had no access to some of the facilities that we might be thinking about as we're listening to this. But we've been able to give them alternatives, and in some instances been able to find a way to give them access to the things they should rightly be able to access to look after themselves. In all of those areas and all of those types of people that I've had the privilege to work with, one thing is constant, that the ability to apply the skill sets and the knowledge and the wisdom and experience to everyday life when life gets in the way is what is lacking. And when you want to support people with that, there are very different barriers that you come up against, because very often simple is the answer, and people like to feel that the only reason they're not moving forwards with something is because it's really complicated, or they're lacking the resources or something that they need to do it. And when people find out that's not the case, and actually it's really simple, they just need to work on their mental fitness and apply some simple steps, it's quite a painful realization for people. So it's not an easy thing to coach. It's something that has to come from within. I hope that something like this podcast can prompt people to think about areas that they're knowledgeable, areas that they've had all the information given to them. They might have even paid for training and qualifications or expertise to get them to a point. And now, what's the excuse? The know-how. Become sagacious. Learn how to apply the wisdom that you've got to the life that you're living. And the outcomes you get will be the outcomes that you're wishing for and the outcomes you deserve.